What's up, guys? It's Will Burroughs. I graduated from the University of North Carolina at Charlotte with my bachelor's degree in exercise science, and today is a rest day, and we are going to be covering the topic of how to get back on track after missing a workout or after cheating on your diet or whatever thing that would throw you off the road of consistency. So the first thing is we don't want to be harsh on ourselves. Now, why is that? The thing is, when you are harsh on yourself and you beat yourself up over missing a workout, it leads you to try and do things like doubling up on workouts. Or restrict calories further than you already did to make up. Even further. Right? So we're beating ourselves up, and now we're telling ourselves that we have to work twice as hard, right? And sure, we may do this for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4, but then what happens? 5's off, 6 off, 7 off, and then you have 2 weeks, right? And then 3 weeks, and it's this kind of spiraling effect, right? And the whole point is, again, we want to be consistent. So, we want to start by accepting, looks like an E. Accepting what happened, right? Because you can say, yeah, I missed a workout. And you say, okay, that's fine, but I can't keep letting it stay like this. So rather than trying to double up on workouts, I'm just going to pick up where I left off tomorrow, right? Or I'll pick up where I left off right now, in this moment. So, and that's okay. Or I cheated on my diet. And that's okay. I'll bring this guy down here. As long as I get back on track, right? So these things are going to happen, right? And being harsh on yourself, telling yourself you're a piece of shit, you're a horrible person because you missed a workout, because you couldn't adhere to your diet, and maybe your diet's structured wrong, but that's a topic for another day, which leads you to trying to do so much more work, which leads you to maybe at most a week of consistency, and then you get burnt out and you stop doing it entirely, right? Like that is quite literally the opposite of what we want to happen. What we want it to be like is if we miss a day, we want it to be 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe something more like this. This would be a better view. Having your days where you mess up be far apart, or at least having space in between them so you are making progress and you are being consistent in the right direction. And then every time you have an off day, sure, it'll decrease your progress a little bit, but it's not going to, these 2 days, it may make it to where you only had 6 days. Oops. It may make it to where you only had 6 days of progress, or, just 8 days of progress. Something like that. But you're still making progress, whereas if you had multiple bad days in a row, it would do more damage because you're being consistent in the wrong direction, right? So just as being consistent in the right direction will move you closer there, being consistent in the wrong direction will move you away. Yeah, but pretty much we just want to have a acceptance of what we did, because the goal is to be consistent, right? And you're not going to get very far beating yourself up. And I can tell you this from personal experience. I've been that person who was ridiculously hard on myself anytime I missed anything, or anytime I messed anything up. And I can tell you, it made my time on, a fitness journey or a health journey, it was miserable. Absolutely miserable. Having to be perfect all the time sucks. It's not fun, right? And also it removes any of the enjoyment you can have. You're so focused on being perfect that you don't make time for, some of the things that you may have done. You don't make room in your diet for some foods that you may enjoy, even though they're not the best, right? Because at the end of the day, that is a part of consistency, is managing things or different levels of things to keep you consistent, right? So just because junk food may not have the best macros, right? And it doesn't really fit into your diet well. But, eating 200 calories of junk food allows you to go, like, that almost entirely removes cheating from your diet, or gets rid of cravings. We'll just say that, gets rid of cravings. That would be a 200 calories well spent, because you can cut those carbs out of some other place in your diet and you can eat some of this junk food, so you manage your cravings more effectively and you are more consistent. So sure, they may not be the best nutritious calories, but they are actively playing a role in fighting cravings, which is one of the main reasons why people get inconsistent with their diet, because they're craving all of these different things. They restrict themselves from eating these things that they want to eat for a really long time. And then one day it just how happens that they don't have the willpower to not buy it at the grocery store. They get it offered at a friend's place. They're out to eat. And then they go on a bender. And instead of eating 200 calories, they eat 2,000 calories. Well, if you're doing a 500 calorie deficit every day and you eat 2,000 calories over your diet, congratulations. You just added 4 days to your cut. Now, this isn't a bad thing, right? You should still accept it, but just keep in mind, like, those are the repercussions of what you do. And if the 200 calories of junk food each day could save you from that 2,000 calories, once a month, then ultimately you are going to move a little bit faster, and in the long span, a lot faster to your goal, because you are not piling on extra work. But even if you were to do that 2,000 calories over, you're just like, okay, that's 4 more days, right? And you can get there. The point is, this whole process, it should not, like, there are points where it's going to suck, but it should not suck most of the time. It should be enjoyable in some sense of the word. Obviously, working out is going to be hard. Eating healthy and nutritiously, like that part doesn't have to be bad. That more so comes up to your ability to create foods that you enjoy or meals that you enjoy that follow a proper macronutrient profile while keeping in mind calories. So food, you have a lot of degrees of freedom. Your training, you've got to train hard. And sure, some of those workouts may suck, but at least for me, and I think some other people may be wired the same way, is progress. Like progress is a very, very addicting thing, at least for me. And I get super amped to go to the gym and to make progress and literally be able to, track those numbers down that I am getting stronger. But if that's not you, there are other ways to, find ways to make it enjoyable. But I think self-progress within your strength and being able to do more is typically a pretty good way to go about that. But yeah, it'll be hard sometimes. But it shouldn't be hard all the time. That, we'll leave it like that. Sounds like a ad for a special substance that you might need to call a doctor if it persists for more than 4 hours. Anyway, pardon my being childish. So, yes, we want to just accept things and not make it miserable, not beat ourselves up, so we do not have all of these negative feelings that make us feel like we need to do extra work, which will inevitably burn us out. Burn us out. Right? And again, I'm gonna beat the beat this into y'all until it's understood. But it really is just a matter of consistency. So it's all about building your habits and your health habits around allowing yourself to be consistent. And this is just one of those things. Like, from my experience and from all the people that I've worked with and from a lot of people in my personal life that I have also helped with fitness, invariably being very rough on yourself about this kind of thing just doesn't end well. It just doesn't. You create negativity, right, around health. So we'll just negativity, health, and then this is negativity, that circle around it. You create negativity around health. And then what happens is whenever you start to think of a new diet, right, let's just say health in general, you start to think of a new training program, you associate that with negative feelings. Or we could even say bad, negative or bad feelings. What happens when you feel bad feelings, right? Bad feelings. It makes you not want to do something, or makes you want to avoid, right? So when you're creating this negativity, you are then associating healthy habits with negative or bad feelings. And by creating that association with bad feelings, it makes you want to avoid health because you want to save yourself from feeling bad, right? And that is the opposite of what we want. By being harsh, you make being healthy that much harder. That much. A whole lot. So it's not about being perfect. It's not. It's about finding things that work for you and creating positive feelings around training and around dieting and around your sleep, right? Like if you were to think of training every day and you just had this bad feeling like, I've got to exert myself, I've got to train. Like when you think like that, it makes you not want to do it, right? And it builds. It builds on top of each other. It's like, okay, I'm going to force myself to go today. And tomorrow, you don't want to go even more because you forced yourself, right? And then you go again, and eventually you get burned out, right? Because you're just forcing yourself. There's no natural desire to go, right? But instead, if you could find something that you like and you fall in love with, that's a part of the process, then, like if you just like going for the progress, then like, yeah, you just like, I want to go to the gym because I want to see how much progress I made. I want to see how much stronger I am. I want to see how much better I can make my form, right? I wanted to go to the gym because it's a nice environment. It's great for your mental health, right? There are so many different reasons that you can find that would create a positive association with health, and ultimately that's what we want. Instead of having negativity around health, we want positivity around health, because it's the reverse. So we have health and we associate it with positive or good feelings. Oops. Or good feelings, right? And what happens when we experience good feelings? Well, we want to feel more of them. Right? So just from a simple switch of going from negativity to positivity, you are going to create positive or good feelings around health. And then that is going to make you want to do those things more often because they make you feel good, rather than trying to make you avoid them because they don't feel good and you have bad feelings whenever you think of it, right? If you have good feelings surrounding your diet, if you have good feelings surrounding training, you're ready to go training, you're happy to eat your food, it's making you feel better, like all of these things are going to play a monumental role in keeping you consistent and getting you back on track. If you have more of a positive mindset, whenever you miss the gym or you miss a day of your dieting, you just go, okay, it happened, but this health, I really love this health stuff, and I'm going to get back on track right now, and I'm going to be consistent for the next week, at least, right? So then you are just moving in the right direction. You made a mistake, and that's okay. It's not something to beat yourself up over, but you know that you love this stuff, or you enjoy it, and sometimes you may not, but the fact of you having positive associations, and even when you're not feeling it, sorry, my rice cooker is going off. Even when you're not feeling it, you still have those positive associations, and you know that it is a good thing, right? It's not a question of if it is good or not. You just know it's a good thing, and you can still draw for some of those positive benefits to get you in there, even if you're not feeling the most up for it. But anyway, again, consistency. Don't beat yourself up. Accept what happened. Get back on track. Because the longer you stay on the track, the more results you're going to get, the more favorable results you're going to get. And the longer you stay off track, the more you are going to end up somewhere you don't want to go, right? Because we're trying to go this way. And off track is any direction that is not this way. Like, sure, you can go off track and be like a little bit closer to where you're trying to go, but you could also be just walking backwards. And you don't even notice it, right? And going that way it's going to erase a lot of stuff pretty quickly. Anyway, yeah, just accept it. Just accept it and get back on track. That covers the topic for today. No, it's a little bit shorter than the other ones that I have done. But yeah, I think this is an important thing to know, because this is where a lot of people mess up. This is where a lot of people fall off track. And this is where a lot of people go from being healthy to, I don't know how I'm 400 pounds overweight, or I don't know why I have no muscle anymore. I lost all my muscle. I don't know why this. And it's like, I don't say this to be harsh or mean, but like, the reason you're not there is because you stopped doing the things that allowed you to be that way in the first place, right? And that's okay, but we just got to get back on track. Anyway, that covers this video. If you enjoyed it, and you learned something new, I know it's a little bit more dealing with this aspect than your actual body. But yeah, if you learned something new, then feel free to leave a like and subscribe. Again, I'm going to keep blasting a lot more information and repeating myself all the time until you guys understand these things that are going to make your journey not only easier, but more enjoyable. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow with an upper workout, and we'll be getting back to topic-based videos in the next workout too. So I'll see you guys then.